is Siti Fattah. I come from the Faculty of Economics and Business Management Study Program, University Persada, Indonesia. For this time, I will discuss how to do research part 1. 1. Introduction. Carrying out a research project in the social science will almost invariably involve the research in a significant amount of reading, particularly if they are not already well read in the subject area. The chapter is organized into the following section. Priority, coping with the research literature, basic reading strategies, using libraries, using the internet, with enough reading, reading about method as well as subject, recording your reading, the literature review, issues in reading. 2. Why read? We will talk the story, however, especially where the research has an academic connection, that it is highly desirable, if not say essential, to engage in related reading like carrying out a research project. Your research project needs to be informed and stimulated by your developing knowledge as you carry it out. Box 4.1 gives them reason for reading for research. It will give you ideas. You need to understand what other research have done in your area to broaden your perspective and set your work in context. Their personal experience can never be enough to legitimate your arguments. It might cause you to change your mind, wages, and you will be one neat reader so that you can effectively critique what others have done, to learn more about research methods and their application in practice in order to spot areas which have not been researched. 3. Where to read? The obvious place to read, at least up until the last 5 years, may seem to be the library, particularly if you are doing a research project in an academic setting. They may be window-ranging or specialized resource general or academic in function for reference only or available for borrowing. Using libraries is the subject of the next section in this chapter. Basic reading strategies. The other obvious place to read nowadays is on your computer, making use of some of the vast range of materials available through the internet. Compared to libraries, the material available on the internet is much more variable in quality. You do, of course, need to have access to a computer and internet connection. Using the internet is the subject of the next but one section in this chapter. Beyond the searches, however, there are many of the places in which you might read. You don't have to buy the books on display, but will be restricted in what you can do if you don't buy them. Or what to read? The short answer to the question of what to read has to be read as much and as many different kinds or sources of text as possible. This will enable you to encounter a range of views and forms of presentation within the different kinds of writing appropriate to your topic. The kinds of things you might read could include books, journal, report, popular media, computer-based materials, memos, minutes, internal reports, letters, diaries. In using these different kinds of written sources, it will be useful to bear in mind a number of other distinctions between types of material for reading: published and unpublished literature, contemporary and classic works, introductory and overview text, edited collection and literature review, methodological and conventional accounts. Finally, in your reading, you should be aware of the extent to which text present of make use of original data. 5. When to read? Faced with a bookshelf containing 20 or 30 books on the same topic or decades of dozens of journals, it can be very difficult to decide where to start. You may choose one volume at random or take a more considerate view, perhaps selection the most recent book written and published in your country. In part, your aim should be to read a range of views, exploring both the founding thinkers or the great names of your field and the diversity of current opinions. You should be able to get plenty of guidance on what to read, at least to start with, from your supervisor, manager, colleagues, or fellow research. Some of the kind of sources mentioned above, particularly literature reviews, are also excellent places to go for suggestions on what to read. Hence, take some time to use works, so serendipity can be a wonderful thing. 6. how to find what you need to read. If you are a researcher taking an unfamiliar field of study for the first time, you need to be able to get to grips with the relevant literature as quickly as possible. Because of concern about quality and the sheer amount of information, attempts have been made to classify material on the web into useful categories. These are sites that edit sources of information so they can direct you more immediately to what is relevant and appropriate. A key gateway for social scientists is the Social Science Information Gateway based at Bristol University. And the web tend to run more slowly from about minutes on in the UK, which is in when the USA begins to wake up. The evening is also a big time for home user benefiting from chapter class writers. Early morning is therefore a good time to go online. By refining the search to a specific area of education or business, using additional keywords and one or more Boolean operators, you are more likely to find the cities that you are particularly interested in. If, for example, you key in adult in the education, so list all the items or titles that contain both words, or if you key in business AE and not small, the result will exclude all items referring to small business. 7. Conclusion. We would argue strongly, however, especially where the research has an academic connection, that it is highly desirable, if not essential, to engage in real-life reading while carrying out a research project. Your research project needs to be informed and stimulated by your developing knowledge as you carry it out. The obvious place to read, at least up until the last few years, may seem to the particularly if you are doing a research project in an academic setting. Now from me, more or less sorry. Thank you for your attention.